What is going on, people? It is a Thursday again, so for those who follow my channel, you know what it is. It's a Throwback Thursday. For those who don't follow my channel, follow it please. No. For those who don't follow my channel, or follow my videos I should say, today is where I go back through my collection and bring back old school stuff from the late 80s to the early 90s, pretty much my childhood. Bring them back and review them a little bit. Every week I try to do a different topic kind of deal, and hopefully you like them. This week I'm doing old school cartoons not pertaining to Disney. I know everyone loves Disney cartoons and such, and I do too. If you didn't check it out, I did a whole video on my entire Disney DVD / Blu-ray collection. So if you haven't, check that out. But this is cartoons that weren't under the Disney trademark. These are cartoons that are MGM and other such companies. I got 10 here that were 10 of my top 10, I guess you want to call it. No one in any particular order, but these are the ones that when I was younger I watched more than others. This first one here is definitely a darker kind of deal. There's bits in this that are very, very weird, but in essence it kept me wanting to watch it over and over and over again. And this is Little Nemo, not Finding Nemo, Little Nemo. It's where this little kid, Nemo, he gets taken to this dream world. Now, in this movie, you can't tell if he's dreaming or not. He goes, it just jumps back and forth from different scenes. Anyway, one night he ends up getting taken to this far-off world where he is invited there to become the friends of the princess that is there. And there's this clown, and they open up this door and let this like dark being out, and then the whole world is now like screwed up. Then you think he wakes up, but he's not in his own world. It's still, I don't know, it's very hard to follow at first, so you do got to watch it a few times, I guess, to get the grasp of it, because like I said, it jumps back and forth between what you think is a dream and what you think is real and whatever. But it's one of the ones that I watched a lot when I was younger. It's a lot darker than most of the cartoons that I watched. But that's Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland. I'd say check it out. This one, I am a fan of these. I am 28 and I don't watch them as much as I did when I was younger, but I have 3 of the movies. I don't have the TV show, I have the movies. But I remember when I first bought this movie, where I got it from. The guy looked at me, and I guess I don't know, I hope maybe he was thinking I bought it for a younger sibling or something, but no, it was for me. And that's the Care Bears movie. I do have the Care Bears movie too, and I got the Care Bears Christmas, or Care Bears Nutcracker. I don't know, I like these little bears. They spread joy. Each one has their own little like special power. They got a symbol on their stomach, and each one has its own like special power. In this one, they meet 2 little kids, and there's a dark being, or I guess you want to call it being or demon or something, that inhabits this one kid and takes over his, I guess, body or whatever, and it has him doing bad things, and he's trying to spread the word of doing bad. So it's pretty much good and evil. I don't know. I'm a big Care Bears fan. I wouldn't call it huge, but I still watch it. If anybody has any negative to say about it, leave it in the comments. I really don't care. I enjoy the Care Bears. This one, I don't remember the whole plot line to it, but I remember watching this one a whole lot when I was younger. I know it's three little animals trying to find. I think it's I don't even remember what it is now. But anyway, Once Upon a Forest. I remember watching this a whole lot. There's a little hedgehog, a mole, and a little mouse. And I think this one girl, this little badger here, gets sick. I don't want to say it's them going to find a cure. It might be, because that kind of has the same storyline to the one movie I'm going to show you. But it's something to do with the little girl gets sick, and I'm pretty sure they go and try to find a doctor or find medicine or whatever. But Once Upon a Forest, this one, I was never a huge fan of the TV show or the cartoon itself. I'd watch it periodically here and there. But the movie I like, I'm pretty sure I know of two definite movies that I enjoy. This one being one, and it's Jetsons Movie. I know there's another one that I wanted to get that I never could find, and that's Flintstone meets the Jetsons, or the Jetsons meets the Flintstones. I forget which one came first on the title, but whatever, they meet each other. In this one, George Jetson, he gets a job offer on another planet to run Spacely Sprockets. It's a new building that they have there, and they offer him manager spot. So he ends up taking his family and moving to this new place, and it's the family coping and everything. Then at this plant, all these strange things starts happening, and eventually at the end of the movie you find out why. But this one is just like a modern day what happens if a family has to move because of a job. They make new friends, they meet new people, and yeah, it's just a good movie. I'd say watch this one if you haven't. Jetsons Movie. This one is a classic. This one's one of my favorites that I can pop in all the time, and it's only this one. I kind of like the second one, and then they just don't catch on. I remember just because I think this one came out in I don't even know sometime in the late 80s, and then the rest started coming out later in the 90s. So as I got older, they just didn't catch my fancy as much. But I remember liking this one and the second one. I think there's like in over 10 of them now. But the first, Land Before Time, it's one in the beginning. It just goes around this long neck called Littlefoot, and it's just him, his mother, and his two grandparents, and the earth starts shaking and stuff. This is when the earth starts forming and stuff, and at one point the mother gets killed by a T-Rex, and he gets separated from his grandparents, and it's him trying to find his way to. The mother told him about this great valley where all the dinosaurs would migrate to, so it's him and his journey there. He meets a couple other dinosaurs, Sarah the Triceratops, Petrie I don't even know which one it would. There's a flying one, Ducky, the duck-billed one, and then Spike, who's a spike tail. It looks like a Stegosaurus kind of deal, but I couldn't really tell you if it is. But pretty much it's their adventure trying to go and finding their families at this great valley. Like I said, this one's the better one. As they got older, it just got too kiddie and away from the storyline. They all have their own, but just didn't catch me as much as this first one. This one is another classic. Robin Williams is one of the voices of the guy Batty, and it's Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest. I remember in one of my updates I told you that new movie Epic was kind of like a spin-off, rip-off of this. The one guy is a tree cutter. They got this machine that goes through the forest and cuts trees, and at one point he goes out and checks all these trees, and the people that he's working with didn't hear that he was leaving, and they start cutting these trees, and one of the trees is about to fall on the guy. So there's a little fairy world, and this fairy sees it and actually shrinks him down to their size, and pretty much it's just him going through this world that you didn't know of fairies and such trying to save the environment, and there's a evil monster that is trying to take over this whole place and make it sludge and all this, and it's them against each other. It's definitely an interesting movie. Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, if you haven't checked this out. Like I said, it was Epic was kind of like a rip-off. It was still a good movie, but it was kind of like a rip-off of that one, like a modern-day Fern Gully. This one, All Dogs Go to Heaven, stars on these two, Charlie and Icky. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Them two are just these dogs that are pretty much like, if you want to call it gangsters kind of deal, and they're going against this other Scarface, is this other dog that is pretty much like their rival, and they find out that this guy has a little girl that can speak to animals and can make money by talking to these animals and like races and stuff, like going to horse races and talking to the horses to see who they were going to let win, because that's supposedly how it went. Anyway, Charlie and Icky take this girl, kidnap her pretty much, and promise her that they were going to find her a home with real people, her parents and everything. And it's pretty much them trying to use her the same way, but then they fall for this girl. It's definitely a classic one. This one, An American Tail. Fievel, Mouskowitz. I think they were in Russia in the beginning, and there's a cat problem. They're trying to get away. They hear that in America there are no cats, so they take a ship from Russia to America, and on the way there, Fievel falls off the boat and eventually makes his way to America, but is separated from his family, and it's him trying to get back reunited with his family. He runs into a few people, the family runs into a few people, and it's definitely a classic one. I do like the second one. I have the second one. Actually, I have 4. I don't know if there's more, but I do have 4 of them. Remember watching this one and the other one, Fievel Goes West, and then I found the other ones, and me being a completist, I got them 2. They aren't like the first 2, but what could you do? This one, like I said, that other one, Once Upon a Forest, I'm pretty sure it has the same gist, but this one's called The Secret of the Nihm. This one is another dark movie. I remember watching it and thinking, you know what, is this even a kid's movie? Because it has these dark, there's just darkness to it. Anyway, the mother mouse, her son is sick, and she goes to this one guy and he tells her that there is someone who has a cure for him, and it's her going through all these ways to get this medicine, but also at the time, the place that they're living at, this family is reconstructing their yard or whatever, so they're actually moving this house or whatever, and it's pretty much a waste of time, her getting back to the house to make sure that it's safe, and her getting the medicine for her kid, and then she runs into this crow and this other owl, and this, it's just very its own little storylines, like bits and pieces of different stories that she ends up running into. But it's definitely an action-filled, I guess if you want to call it, cartoon. And this might be one of my favorites. This might be up there for my favorite, just because it has a nice aspect or interesting aspect to it. And it's the Chipmunk Adventure. I was never big into the cartoon itself, but this one here, it stars both the Chipmunks and Chipettes. And in the beginning, they're playing this one video game, and they're very competitive. And the whole thing is the race around the world video game or whatever. So they're playing this, and they're getting really loud and really loud. And in this place where they're at, there's this brother and sister, and they overhear these two fighting. So they're evil people. So they end up talking to the Chipmunks and Chipettes, and they tell them that they have a real game for them to play if they want to play it, and they could win $1 million or however much money if they play this game and win. So they end up agreeing, and what they have to do is fly around the world and deliver these dolls. They have Chipettes and Chipettes and the Chipmunks dolls, and what they have to do is go to certain spots on this map that they give them and change, swap for another one. The guys have dolls of themselves and they have to collect the Chipettes, and the Chipettes have dolls of themselves and they have to collect the Chipmunks. What they don't know is it's a jewel heist or whatever, and what they do is pretty much switching jewels for money. So what happens is they're sent on different ways around the world, and it's a race for them to get back. And it's just, there's different scenes in this. The guys get kidnapped by these tribal men, and the girls get stuck in a hurricane, and it's just a very interesting aspect, and it keeps you on your toes a little bit for a cartoon. So this was definitely another one to watch. Those there were my top 10 cartoons not being related to Disney. Let me know what you think. If you have other ones that you enjoyed more, or you agree with my top 10, or whatever you have, or whatever have you, a little better way of saying it. Leave comments. If you enjoyed this, like the video. If you enjoy my videos, feel free to subscribe. Hopefully you do. And after this video, it is now closed, but if you want to watch, I have the my 6 UV digital code giveaway that I'm going to be doing. The next video I do, I'm going to draw the winner, and whoever wins gets these codes. So if you're interested at all, check the next video. And like I always say before I leave, I do have a Facebook fan page. I got a Facebook group page. I got a Twitter. I got an Instagram. And those will be on the bottom. Those links will be on the bottom. And until my next video, I will see you.